Hey, good morning everyone. Welcome to Everyday Faith, Day 6, as we jump into another day on harmony. Hey, if you missed yesterday, it was an action. Go back and check it out. I think it could be a very powerful start to this year by simply changing some things, some habits that we have in place, putting some things in place to improve them, and really changing the scope of our year. So go back and check out yesterday's if you missed it. Today we're coming at you from Ecclesiastes 3:1, and it says this: "For everything there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven." And if you keep reading, it says, one of the steps to finding harmony in your life is to recognize that everything in your life has an appropriate time and place. When it feels like our lives are improperly balanced, it's often because we have allowed something else or someone else to dictate its time and place in our lives. Your boss asked you to stay late, your kids woke you up early, your friends need more of your time. These can all be good things, but when we begin allowing them to overrun our lives and our schedules, we'll find ourselves quickly running on fumes. I think we can all say we've been there. That's why we must make conscious efforts to evaluate what areas of our lives are out of sync and then determine the steps necessary to rein them in. Sometimes this means saying no to good things so we can say yes to even better things. Remember, it's your life, and God wants you to walk in grace and rhythm of harmony. If you don't take ownership, nobody else will. I have a really silly example of this, but for me, my son, who was 4 and now just turned 5, he had a habit of coming and getting in bed with mommy and daddy every single night about 1 a.m. and taking we have a king-size bed, and he would absolutely take over the bed, and I wouldn't sleep. And so I got into the habit of just getting out of bed and going into his bed every time he came in. And it became just a bad habit where I was never able to get right back to sleep. So for a couple hours each night, I was awake in the middle of the night, and it was definitely throwing off my entire schedule. And I don't need much sleep. I need like 6 or 7 hours max. But I was having that window in the middle of the night where I wasn't sleeping. So I made a deal with my son, and I said, hey, if you can sleep in your bed for 7 nights in a row, I'm going to do this for you. Call it bribery, call it what you want, but I needed to do something to get that harmony of sleep and rest back into my life. And it actually worked, and I'm now sleeping in my bed every single night. He's made it a habit to sleep in his own bed, so he broke that bad habit. But I had to make that effort to say, okay, what needs to change? What's it going to take to change this? And we're dealing with a 4 or 5-year-old boy here, right? We're not dealing with an adult. So I had to make a different effort at making this happen. But I'm so glad that I did, because I am resting better. It's better on Rachel too. It's just a much better situation. So again, a silly example, but me saying no, hey, you can't come in here anymore. And actually, I don't want to say bribing, but giving him an ultimatum to go, hey, go sleep in your room for 7 nights in a row, and here's what we'll do for you. And it worked out. Remember, it's your life, and God wants you to walk in grace and rhythm of harmony. If you don't take ownership of it, nobody else will. I took ownership of my bed. You take ownership of your life and the things in it. Probably much better examples, but that's the one that came to mind. So guys, be blessed. Have an amazing day, and we will see y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.